free. They get instruction 4 days a week for an hour, and they can give concerts, or 2 hours. 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, 60 kids. We want to expand it, and it's all free. They don't pay a cent. You won't find that at any other school. So here's my first question. Why would we shut down Fruit Ridge Elementary when it has a one-of-a-kind music program serving 60 children in this district? That would be my first question. My second question, again, would be around the garden. I won't again say anything about the garden. It's all right, but my question around the garden would be, and again, if you could get my words exactly after you finish with that one. Why would we shut down Fruit Ridge Elementary when it has a best-in-class school garden of 1/3 of an acre, 17 raised beds, and a model for the rest of the city? Why would we shut down Fruit Ridge when it has a one-of-a-kind, 1/3 of an acre, 17 raised beds, school garden, recognized as as the best in the city? Okay, and then my final, almost out of time. Finally, what are the other options that are available besides shutting these 11 schools? Your own slides that the district presented said we could save $15 million by reducing by 2 weeks. Just a fraction of a week reduction, you could save your $2.5 million. So my other question is, what are the other options available to us besides shutting down these 11 schools? Thank you.
I'm going to say it in Spanish. La pregunta, no sé si muchos saben de que en esta área hay como unas 6 escuelas antes de que construyeran la nueva escuela de Power Bikini, que es una de las opciones que nos van a dar. Sin embargo, al estar en esas escuelas, 3 de ellas son las que estamos para que nos cierren. Mi pregunta es de que ¿por qué? Si sabían que tenemos tantas escuelas, ¿por qué hacer otra escuela nueva y luego mandar a nuestros hijos para allá? ¿Qué es de nuestros hijos, de los padres que trabajamos tiempo completo, que dependemos de aquellos que nos pueden cuidar a nuestros hijos para que nos lleven a la escuela? ¿Qué va a hacer de nuestros hijos cuando ya se vienen esas clases? ¿Qué van a hacer con ellos? Los van a mandar a otras escuelas. Van a perder turnos, van a perder programas, van a perder todo el tiempo. ¿Qué va a hacer de nuestros hijos? In English. I was saying there's about 6 schools around this area. 3 of us are going to be shut down. Father Bikini is going to be one of our other schools, our option to go to. If we knew we had all these other 6 schools, why construct that new school that's only been open for a few years? What's going to happen with our kids? We are full-time working parents. We depend on other parents to help us out with our children, pick them up and help them out with their programs. What's going to happen when those 2 schools get filled up? Again, we're going to contract them out. They're going to be transferred out to other schools. And again, like a lot of people said, no transportation. What's going to happen to all of our children? Once those 2 schools filled up, I have 4 kids, 2 of which are here at this school, 2 of which I'm hoping they stay here at this school. What's going to happen to all the other kids that we have? Who's going to transport them here? Who's going to take care of them once those schools fill up? So what's the plan? Once those schools fill up, because you're closing 3 schools down, what's going to happen with all those kids from those 3 schools to be absorbed into those secondary schools? What's going to happen with that? We're going to transfer them out again? Send them farther away from our community? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Beth Ruiz. I come here as the Youth and School Services Chair for an organization called Slow Food, and our local chapter is Slow Food Sacramento. And if you haven't heard of us before, Slow Food is an international nonprofit that advocates for good, clean, fair food for all. And we, the members of the Sacramento Slow Foods Board of Directors, respectfully request that the board reconsider its proposal to close the historic Fruit Ridge Elementary School and its garden, and move the students to schools along Martin Luther King Boulevard. This last year, we held our first Urban Ag Fest, where we invited 15 schools and associated community nonprofit programs. And Fruit Ridge is so exemplary, and the things that you guys have done here are just a model for not just the district, but the region throughout. And we're launching our School Garden Coalition, of which Fruit Ridge is one of the founding members. And, you know, I gotta tell you, an international organization with 1,500 chapters internationally, 350 in the state alone. We just completed a statewide survey of what slow food chapters in the state want to be working on. And school gardens was in the top 5 priority areas in our policy work. And we're also identifying a national program that's coming out of Slow Food Denver to be used. And Alice Waters, who is Vice President at Slow Food International, was just invited by this district and by this mayor to bring her edible schoolyard project here to one of the charter schools in town. So I think we'll contact her and maybe have her weigh on it. She would think about moving one of the best gardens in the region and closing that down. And what would Ms. Waters think about that? It's been so exciting to hear all the parents and students speak about the garden. I started taking a tally and I stopped after a while because it seemed if not every other person that spoke did speak about that. And it's amazing to see that as a community we've come full circle to understand that edible education and gardening is not really about the gardening aspect or even the eating aspect. It's 10% that and 90% community building. And you've shown that here this evening. So give yourselves a pound of applause for coming out here and speaking. So on behalf of Slow Food, please, Board of Directors, you've heard there are many options. And there's maybe some, what I found personally following with Ben Becaris, not speaking on behalf of Slow Food, is that all of these 11 schools are operating at a surplus or a savings. And somehow you guys got dinged for 22 students or a storage closet. So I don't know how that math works, but definitely lots of questions were written up, and I hope that you get the answers that you need and know that we're here for you, to support you and your community in whatever aspect necessary. Thank you.
My name is Kathy Ahern. I was speaking earlier. I'm a proud teacher here for 17 years. And I told you I was a history buff, and it's been mentioned about our tree. The tree is right out here on the parking lot, and it's a great big oak tree. And that was it's called the Liberty Tree. That's the title. There's a plaque with a dedication on it, and it says, "To the boys of Fruit Ridge who fought in the World War." And it was dedicated March the 14th, 1918, and it's from the Fruit Ridge PTA. They're the ones that dedicated that tree. So it's just an important part of our history here and understanding that this is where the school district started, and we need to stay as a school. Thank you.
Hi, Deanna Slutz again, mother of Colton Slutz, first grader. So last night I went to the DAC meeting. I'm on site council. I got an email to go, so I went. And all the questions being asked about safety, about buses, about what's going to happen to our schools after the closures. Questions about, do you know if you switch these kids from this school to that school, there's 169 pedophiles along that route that you plan on sending to? None of those questions could be answered because they kept telling us it's not within the scope of the proposal. Okay? Not within the scope of the proposal. You're proposing that you shut my school down and send me somewhere else, but you don't have any idea really what's going to happen afterwards because it's not within the scope of the proposal. You tell me that we'll figure all that out after the fact. After the fact? After the fact? You're going to take 1 month planning to decide my school's going to shut, but you don't have any of my answers. It's just ridiculous. 1 month when they say it's supposed to take 6 months to do all this. This is a remarkable school with remarkable staff that take their time and their energy to make my child a better person. And they're going to take 1 month to decide that they're going to shut my school down and not give me any answers because it's not within the scope of the proposal. I don't get it. And buses, what are they going to do when the gas is so high that they can't afford these buses? Then they tell us, oh, well, we're going to save money by cutting staff. But then I hear somewhere else, we're not cutting staff. None of the teachers union say we're not losing teachers. Nobody has the answers. It's one person says person says the other thing. You know, at this school, if they don't get the money from the district, they go out and find the money. They get grants. They go above and beyond for my child. Mr. Yaw, a father of 8, bends over backwards, wears several hats in the school just to make sure that my socioeconomic low-income child gets that needs. I don't know if that other school's going to provide that, and they tell me on the website why they're being saved instead of us is because they put a lot of money recently into those schools. You know what? If I wanted my child to go to school in Oak Park, I would have moved to Oak Park and not this area. I mean, everybody, when you hear Oak Park, it just has a negative connotation. I don't want to put my kid in a school where he might have to ride a bus. I rode a bus all through school because I lived further away from the school. My mom didn't drive. Thank God they had buses or I wouldn't have gone to school. But it's horrible riding buses. They stack those kids 3 to a seat. Then if you haven't heard recently, you know, I believe it was in Alabama where the guy hijacked the bus, stole one of the kids, held him hostage for like 5 days. What do you see on the internet, on YouTube, about the old, the elderly woman that was the safety guard on the bus, where the kids just treated her horribly? Buses are not the answer. Busing my child away is not the answer. The answer is here, where the community is making my child a better person, keeping my child away from crime, trying to provide my child with a way to get that education that he needs so he can be a better person and possibly live, you know, make more money than I could have ever thought of making, live in a better neighborhood than I could have provided him with. But you know, I can't say that about those other schools because I don't know if they're going to be able to provide that. And if we're running right now on bare bones staff, and they're saying they're going to save money because they're going to get rid of staff, that means these schools are going to be so overrun with teachers and no staff to take care of these kids and take care of the issues involving the school. Come on, how are they going to save money? I don't get it, because one person says they're not going to lose jobs. The other thing says, we're going to save money by reducing staff. How are they going to reduce staff? I mean, if we had 1,000 kids at this school and the staff we have now, things would be crazy. Things would be out of hand. Our staff is so stretched out as it is right now, I don't see how we can do it. And apparently, when I read one thing versus another thing, that's how it's going to happen, is that, yeah, that they're going to combine all these kids in one school, but then they're going to cut costs by saving, you know, getting rid of staff. How is that going to work? It makes no sense at all to me. It makes just no sense to close the school. This is a great school. Our kids have a great opportunity to go in here. We need to keep this school open.
We're running close to 9 o'clock. We committed that we would stop our meeting at 9 o'clock. We want to be able to hear from those people who have not yet come forward to the mics, and we have several lined up. So thank you for respecting everyone's time and allowing people to make comments.
Hi, my name is Sydney. I have one children, one at 4 days, and the other one will be in the kindergarten here. The first thing is I wonder if the district promised us for 5 years from now for the bus transportation go to the other schools. I don't trust on that because from 5 years from now, so the district will be afford that because this community be very, you know, that the people that mentioned they don't have transportation. So you promise for 5 years from now, so we had a transportation for us, for the kids, we go to those schools. And the one thing is that the closer the school will very affect emotional the children. When my daughter knows that the school will be closed, she got a nightmare. And she don't want to do the homework. She said, I don't want to do the homework because the school closed. So I don't have my friend, I don't have wonderful teacher more, so I don't do the homework more, Mom. I say no, then I have to support her. And then I know it's in the United States, the children first. So you have to thinking about the children first. And one more thing is, I know if the school will be closed down because of poor academics, but this school very strong academic, very supportive teacher, very wonderful teacher, and very good. And I don't want to close this school because even my daughter moved around, but this is the best school because she been in the kindergarten, the Elk Grove and the Rockling, whatever. But this one I see is the very best. Very family, this school. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Louis Contreras. I've been an activist in the community, generally in Sacramento. I come from a group of activists. I'd like to thank Brenda for stepping forward. Hello. And what I'd like to ask is one clear question to the directors, the board and such. What, if any, plan is there for the money when this property is sold? Because that is the end value of this property. What do you plan to do when you acquire that money? Because that is what every gentleman in the back row back there needs to be held accountable to. Every single one of them. So from an activist standpoint, I would like to invite every single person from an activist standpoint to simply have one day that Mr. Yee can maybe not officially, but maybe a parent could step forward and announce that we not attend school, because that will make the state look at us. That will make the county board of supervisors look at us. That will make the Board of Education look at us. And para la raza aquí, si se puede. And for the rest of us, we can do it as a community. So do it together. If we, as the families in this community, do it. I had an opportunity to come back to the school. My son's here because I want him to be here. I have choices, but this is where he's at now. So if we deal with this issue now, and we make every single one of those people who is currently in a political position responsible to us, hold them accountable now. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nancy and I'm in 4th grade. I would just want to know why they're going to close down my school. I've been here for 5 years and I just don't want them to close their school. Just because we have less kids doesn't mean we don't love the school. Well, if we go to a different school, I don't know if they're going to have an after-school program. After school, when I won't have anyone to pick me up because my mom needs to work.
Thank you.
My name is Kim Burgraff, and I'm a teacher here at Fort Ridge, and I've been here for 17 years. I just want to say that you are looking at in a month and 2 weeks from tomorrow as far as making your decision about closing our school along with 10 others. There's been a lot of questions posed to you, I'm sure by our school and by other schools, and there's still community meetings still happening before the decision is made. You're asking us to come to you with all of our questions and all of our concerns. By when will you have these answers to us to let us know what's going to happen? We have an amazing group of families here, of students who show their courage every day, parents who've gotten up to show that they care about our school. The staff here has been here. There isn't anyone less than 14 years out of the school any longer. When it comes to our after-school program, 2 years ago, we had to shut down due to the asbestos and move to Bear Flag. When we had our after-school tutoring, our kids were bused to Bear Flag, came back, and they had tutoring, and we followed them here to have tutoring for them because they were excited about it, and we were a stand for our kids. That's who we as a community, we stand for our kids. We can teach anywhere, but as teachers and as family in this community, we stand for our kids first, which every time I log onto the website in the morning to log in, that's the first thing that's there. Students first, kids first. When will it be kids first in the 11 schools you're looking at to close?
Good evening, my name is Jennifer Vaxafra, and I've had the pleasure of being the Fruit Ridge school nurse for 12 years. First, I think it should be noted with the capacity calculation that Fruit Ridge has not been chronically under-enrolled. For many, many years, we've housed 2 schools at this site. And if the Language Academy numbers or the Capital Collegiate numbers were taken into account, I think it would demonstrate that we've really only been at this percentage in capacity for the past 5 months, not the past 5 years. So that's a big difference. Also, in the offer of priority enrollment to Fruit Ridge families, I'm concerned that it's a very nice offer, but maybe not a very realistic one. Our families can go anywhere they want already. They have open enrollment abilities each year, yet they choose not to do it. They choose to stay here because those situations of transportation are very real for this community. Bus fare, not having a car, having a job, or not having somebody else to come get your child, those are real concerns. And we've done the moving thing. We've done the busing thing to Bear Flag in the past few years. And while we did it, and while we survived it, and we did the best we could, it was not an easy situation. Staff was on this campus supervising, making sure children got on the bus safely. The very first day, there was a torrential downpour. Then they get in their cars, go to the other school to teach, to supervise, to take care of that, come back for tutoring here. And I witnessed many times where students were stuck in the office, ill, not being picked up, not able to be picked up, hurt, or disruptive. And they basically waited out to get on the bus to go home 4, 5, 6 hours later, and we're giving the bus driver a baggie who really doesn't want them to throw up on the way home. We're also the homeschool for the local shelter. When we're full in certain grades and they get concapped to other schools, it's a real challenge for those families who are already on the fringe to have their first grader, second grader come here and then maybe walk to Oak Ridge because we don't provide transportation that close. So is transportation really truly going to be provided to a place that's that close? Because it hasn't been for our struggling families yet. Several years ago, I watched the district create multiple small high schools, and the idea at that time was to create individualized instruction, to focus on the families, to put them first. And I believe we recreated that here at Fruit Ridge through our QEIA, through our Parent Home Visit Project, through our long-term staff, and through our special programs. We've made it work. And we haven't done that with a lot of large money from the district. We haven't done that with a PTA that's huge and thriving and providing all the money for our enrichment education programs. We've done that on our own with part-time librarian, part-time nurse, volunteer physician, extremely dedicated principal, and extremely dedicated staff. Sorry. Yes, we do have a Garden and Streams program, and yes, you've heard those can't be recreated, but please remember that these are exemplifying what the district has been promoting for the past few years: wellness, health, education, and a well-rounded curriculum. I'm concerned to think that the influx of several hundred students to 2 priority schools is just going to be a piece of cake. All of the time, money, and energy that's been spent on those priority schools in the past few years is going to be impacted by the influx of several hundred students. You're just almost introducing chaos into a system that you've been trying to make work for several years. And those programs are good. There's nothing wrong with those schools, but it's just reintroducing something new that's going to turn them upside down. I'd like you to imagine this. You're young, you've seen and experienced more than you should by your age. Drugs, sex, violence, and gang activity are not unknown to you. You've moved several times due to your parents' relationship issues or eviction. You've known hunger. You've lived with someone other than a biological parent, maybe because your parents on vacation, gone right now, been deported, been killed, or because CPS has placed you in foster care. You get up and get yourself ready every day for school. This is a reality for many of the Fruit Ridge students I've met over the years. School is their only stable place. You see the same teachers, same staff, the same routine keeps you stable. There are many parents who don't see here tonight, and thank you to all of those who have been able to come. The reason you don't see them is not because they don't care. It's quite the contrary. Instead, some of them are working the night shift. Some don't understand the significance of the situation, and some are incarcerated, and tonight there's probably some that are just incapacitated. When I first heard the school closures, my first thought was, oh no, not that too. And I immediately thought of the families who've lost their jobs, lost their homes, lost their cars, perhaps lost their children to the system. And I thought, they're not going to fight for their school too. They've had so much taken away. So for those who aren't speaking up for those reasons, and for all of you here tonight, I urge you not to create instability where there is enough already. It is unhealthy, unwise, and unfair. And if we were to look at the vision of the district strategic plan, I urge you to please promise to put a child's best interest at heart of the decision you make. And to the Fruit Ridge community, let's continue to stand up together and keep the rock in place.
We have time for just a few more comments.
It's going to be about 10 seconds. Guys, just really quick, I gave you the wrong phone number because I wrote all the phone numbers right over there on that yellow cabinet for you to call, okay? So it is 879-8504, okay? Make sure you call. Don't let other people decide things for you, okay? Even if you lose, at least you fought, okay? Even if you fought, right?
Thank you. We have time for 3 comments.
Hi, my name is Maria Hill. I'm in 6th grade and I just wanted to ask for you not to close down Fruit Ridge. It has a lot of memories. I've been here since kindergarten, but I know the schools, but none of the schools really has great Christmas. Please don't close down Fruit Ridge.
Hi, my name is Linda Gonzalez. I have 3 children that attend here. I have 1 more that I would like to attend. I have lots of nieces and nephews. I've been to many schools as I was young, switching from school to school. My oldest has been here since kindergarten. This is her last year here. She'll be graduating. Since preschool, excuse me. And she's had a lot of opportunities. She was vice president of the school. This school has a lot of programs. They have strings. They have had Girl Scouts, soccer. They have the academic talent search that my daughters attend. She got to go to Sac City College last year, and she will be joining again this year. And I would like the same opportunities for my younger kids and my nieces and nephews, as well as everybody else's kids. If you close Fruit Ridge, you'll be breaking up a family and a community. The staff, principals, staff, students, parents, everybody is connected. And I don't think out of all the schools I've been to, I've ever seen a principal and the staff as dedicated and caring for children as they do here. Please don't close Fruit Ridge.
Hi, my name is Sharon Drug. I am the mother of Mr. Mike. My children have all gone here, and my grandbaby goes here now. You cannot close Fruit Ridge Elementary because they work for all the ethnicities we have in the neighborhood. The blacks, the white, the Latinos, the Mains and the Moms, and everybody else. This is one of the greatest schools we have in this community. My kids started at Oak Ridge, but they ended up at Fruit Ridge, and that's where they all graduated from. You can't close this school down. We care about the community, and that's what counts for kids.
I'm William Miguel. I'm a member of school council. I have 3 kids studying here. And this school is unique because one of my eldest son he's tutoring the lower grades. And if you close Fruitridge, you said that you can provide a bus. These 2 schools they're in major road. And then Oak-Ridge they have a small parking lot. So if you can provide a bus there, it's going to create more traffic. Plus the parents that drive the cars. And why is it that the board decided to close these 11 schools after the Proposition 30? I know that there's politics in these foreclosures. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I was talking before. The only reason I'm up here because I just wanted to say in other words that please don't shut Fruitridge down because I love this school because it means a lot to me and a lot to the other kids. They love this school. They love all the people like you as their family, like we're a big family, and never let no one behind. Thank you.
I'm a single mother of 4, and back in 2010, I had transferred my older children here, and I'm expecting to start my youngest in the fall. Would like to, and I'm not just a single mother. I am a full-time student. I work part-time, and from all the many hats that I do carry and I wear throughout my daily activities, tonight I have 2 activities. I came here earlier, but I had left earlier to attend my second event. But I'm back because I love the school. You know, there's jumping from one place to another, from my history, my kids found a place of belonging. They found a place where everybody knew their name. You know, we trust our neighbors. You know, I'm comfortable with my children walking home with their friends, making sure each of them would get home safely. And there's, from all the many schools that my children have attended, I haven't found a school as close and as close as the community is here. I do plead for the board not to close our school. I love the school, my children love the school, and they see nothing but highly of all the programs that has been going here. I have been hesitating to come up, but then I have this fire burning in me, and you know, I love the school. I do think twice. You know, our community, our families, we put so much into this school.
Thank you.
Ok, mi nombre es Flor Sánchez. Yo quisiera saber por qué van a cerrar la escuela. Yo soy una persona que trabajo hasta las 6 de la tarde, 7 de la tarde. Yo no tengo familia, yo no tengo papás, mamás, no tengo a nadie. Yo vine muy joven aquí a los Estados Unidos. Y mi preocupación es, ¿qué voy a hacer si me mandan a mi hijo a una escuela más lejos? Si solo la única persona que me puede ayudar es mi vecina no tiene carro, ¿qué voy a hacer?
Yes, I want to know why are you closing this school? I live here by myself. I don't have nobody. I don't have a mother, father. I don't have a family member that can support me picking up my kid. I only have my neighbor. She doesn't have a car. What am I going to do? I work late. I work until 6 o'clock. I want you to tell me what am I going to do if I don't have nobody to pick up my kid.
Yo lo que quisiera saber, ¿por qué quieren cerrar si esta escuela? Son muy buenos profesores, el director está atento a todo, hay seguridad, yo por eso esta escuela me gusta. También quiero saber que piensen en los padres. Hay madres que no tienen carro, padres que no salen tarde, las madres que trabajan en la noche, en oficinas, que van a tener que levantarse temprano a llevar a sus hijos a otra escuela, que a lo mejor está cerca y es más cómodo para ellos, más fácil, tienen que dormir más tiempo, o sea, piensen en todo eso.
I want to know, why are you closing the school? It has a great staff, the principal, all the staff that works here, that cares about all these kids here. I want you to think about all those parents that don't have the ability to transport their kids to the school that is going to be farther. I want you to think about all of us, all the parents that work late, that have to wake up really early to take their kids to school, and that work really late and they don't have nobody to pick up their kids.
Yo nada más les pido, piensen en los niños, pero también piensen en las madres, en la preocupación de nosotras, las madres.
I only want to ask you to think about the kids. Kids are first. Think about the kids. Think about us as parents. Think about us, please. Thank you.
Just a quick announcement to my Fruit Ridge family and our community supporters. I want to thank you guys for coming out and speaking up and speaking from your hearts and from your minds and what you think about this school. I need as many of you, we as Fruit Ridge need as many of you to come to the board meeting tomorrow night, 6:30 at the Cerna Center on 47th Avenue. If you can make it, please come. We could use you there. All the schools that are up for closure could use you there. Thank you.
On behalf of Superintendent Raymond, who is in the back of the room,